Ja, hallo, willkommen zurück bei Disco Elysium. Und wie versprochen, reden wir jetzt mal mit der Dame.
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good afternoon, officers. I'm Joyce.
Hallo Joyce.
Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM. I'm glad to see you here.
Like steel, there is strength there. If she wanted, she could sink her nails deep into your skin.
Hoffentlich nicht.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
Danke, Kitsuragi.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines Group.
Wild Pines Group.
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets. I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place.
Festgefahren.
Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter 20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
Oha.
What can I say? The union employs a giant covered in tattoos. A racist giant. I guess that's part of their big tent organization now.
Kimi, glaub ich, Kollege von dir.
Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
But the strike began in December.
Oha, seit Dezember.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive. Mr. Clare told him to... how did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Cool.
Yes. Extremely. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union.
Wer ist der Herr Claire?
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first. Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood. He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar. Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
Ja, aber das ist doch gut, wenn der eine für den andere einspringt. Cool.
Of course. There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh, yes. Every worker, a member of the board.
Oha,
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
das ist nicht so was Einfaches wie Gehaltserhöhung oder so.
Fortunately, they explained it. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about anything, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
Okay, und die wollen alle Mitglied sein.
I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the bowyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
This checks out.
Mr. Clare told him to... How did he put it? Fuck off,
Das hat man
midget.
doch schon.
Gaumont is short of staff. Yes. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before. And, of course, how else can I help?
Was wissen Sie über die Gehängte?
Quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Oh, Ausweis.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. And this is my colleague from Precinct 41.
Ohne Ausweis.
He looks at you expectantly. Then it dawns on him.
How curious. Why is that, Detective?
Glaub's mir, wird's ganz selber wieder.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode?
Nein. Naja, vielleicht doch.
Oh dear. Some kind of encephalopathic amnesia. I don't even know. I do believe you, naive as that may sound. I simply can't imagine what you gain by faking such a condition.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the
Ja,
arsenal.
bin
Of
Officer.
course, I sympathize. But I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
Ich glaube, da brauchen wir erstmal den Ausweis. Ich komme nicht weiter. 42% ist zu wenig.
Of course. But before we do, officers, let me be perfectly clear. The situation is extremely volatile. The sooner we can speak about this lynching business, the better for all of us.
Ziemlich angespannt alles.
Of course, Detective. Take care.
So, und da tät jetzt mal sagen, holen wir uns den Schlüssel unterm Stor. Oh, da ist noch was. Tablette. Da ist auch noch ein Container. Verschlossen. Okay. Jetzt, wo ist der Stein? Ah ja, hier. Okay.
A stone, like any other. There's a key beneath it, rusty from the dirt.
This must be for the front door. Pity, we'll just have to go in and see.
Und schon sind wir drin. Oh, verschwundene Haustiere, okay. Da schlaft einer. Gut, gute Nacht. Was haben wir da? Badezimmer oder was ist das? Gemeinschaftstoilette. Ja, das Zimmer lohnt sich aber. Schicke Schuhe wahrscheinlich. Ah, okay, Geld im Schuh. 5-zackiger Stein.
This door has been closed with a padlock. The chalk no reply. It's a solid lump of metal, but the shackle is deeply corroded. A solid pair of chain cutters would make short work of it.
Aha!
Better whip out those cutters. You won't get very far otherwise.
Herr Bolze schneidet 3% bloß. Achso, Werkzeug noch nicht in der Hand. Okay, warte. Jetzt haben wir es in der Hand. Und jetzt haben wir bessere Prozent.
This door has been closed
Ah ja,
with a padlock.
72,
The
gut.
chalk drawn number. The shackle snaps like a twig, and the lock falls to the floor with a little thud.
After you, detective.
Okay, danke. Wieder der weiße Stern. Okay. Was steht, ist ein Vibrator? Ah, eine Kugel, oder?
A plaster cast bust depicts a middle-aged man with impressive sideburns. The name on the plinth reads
Krasmasov.
Krasmasov, nom de guerre, was an economist and a theoretical historian. He was a leading figure in the Grad side of the turn-of-the-century revolution, where he headed the 9-day government. Mazov,
The White Star, the photos on the wall. I think we have broken into the apartment of a young communard. How fitting.
Kommunaden, Kommunisten oder was? Kein Plan. Egal, gehen wir weiter, auf geht's.
you hear someone. The walking stops abruptly, but no one comes. You can feel tension on the other side. A poor communard, from the looks of it. The room is barely bigger than a closet.
Do I have to open the door?
Ja, schon.
Do you have a warrant?
Nö.
I'm not obligated to open the door if you don't have a warrant.
Let's go. We don't have a reason to get inside that apartment.
Da hat David
It's
recht.
generally easier to do things if you have literally any reason.
Wir kommen wieder. Postkarte. Money, money, money. Omi, Omi, Omi. War das die, wo uns vor eine Dreiklasse hat, oder?
Give me a moment.
Aber natürlich.
The cold never does any good for my bronchitis.
Soll ich einen Arzt rufen?
I'm fine. Fine. Don't you worry about me.
Oh oh, Corona.
Now, what do you want from me, policeman?
She's the cleaning lady. She knows the floor plan and the residence.
Oh, you'll find plenty of Martins here. Don't you worry. Pea-brain, someone played a trick on you. Martinez is a name for anyone who comes from Martinez, like Sim Jamrock or Raoul Ravachol.
Kleiner Faker.
Oops, you really didn't get the joke there.
I thought it was obvious.
Oh.
Anyway, officer, we don't have the witness's name.
Aber die alte Dame weiß es, oder?
Yes, I know who you mean. The scrawny boy who's always smoking like the devil, right?
Ja, genau, der Puff Daddy. Richtig.
Somewhere in the building, a child starts crying. You hear a radio tuned to a talk show and someone taking a shower.
What's he in trouble for? talk.
Oh je. Arzt? Krankenwagen? Irgendwas?
He
Samariterbund?
lives upstairs in room 28. Go to the balcony. It's one of those doors there. He's usually home in the evening.
Thank you. We should go check out his apartment on the balcony. See if he's home.
Moment.
Ask away, policeman. People come and go. I don't keep an eye on everyone.
They probably just moved or died, hopefully somewhere else.
Wer ist in Wohnung 10?
No one lives there. It's been empty for months.
Aha. Das stimmt, was...
Impossible. I would know if someone had moved in there. Maybe it's those countercultural people again, breaking into a house like it's a public space. You're a policeman. Be good and take a look, will you?
Wir checken jetzt mal ab.
Wait. Young people. They're worse than rats. You know, always littering the hallways with trinkets and empty beer cans.
Ja, kennen wir.
Oh, that one is a scientist, a future scholar. I think he studies astrology at the community college. Education's good. I always tell them to study. Something to do with all those stars around his door. He asked me to leave his drawings up on the wall.
Astronomie, oder?
That's what I said. Astrology.
Ja.
The lieutenant shakes his head as though to say, let it go. Come on, people. Try to keep up any standards here. It's not about stars. It's... forget it.
Totenkopf sind die.
The artiste? Nothing I can do about her, I'm afraid. She ruins the walls faster than I can clean them. Still, she leaves an old lady to her business. More than I can say for others.
Okay,
She
danke.
mumbles some kind of a response. Then
Nette alte Dame. Sagade. Was haben wir dahinter? Zwangsvollstreckung. Oh. Oh, das ist aber ein nettes Zimmer. Ohne Tür, Blick aufs Meer und, was ist das? Ein Loch in der Wand. Ah ja, super. Größeres Zimmer. Cool, das nehme ich.
what happened here? It will still be accessible through the apartment next to it. That one didn't have a door. Sadly, nothing of great value remains here. Indeed.
Also das Spiel hat auf jeden Fall sehr viel mit Kühlschränken zum Tor, glaube ich. Wir haben hier einen Eisbär-Kühlschrank und einen Kühlschrank, der neben einem Loch in der Wand ist. Ah, da ist die Totenkopf-Cindy wieder. Okay. Ein Red Skull. Cindy, zu dir kommen wir auch gleich. Moment. Aha. Oh, schicke Jeans. Das ist bestimmt das Schlafgemach von der Cindy, oder? Mal die Jeanshose angucken. Ah ja, steht mir gut. Noch ein schönes Jackett. Ja, schick, schick. Vor allem mit den gelben Handschuhen.
The pockets of these new jeans are perfect for sticking your hand into. Hey, it's a chewing gum wrapper. It reminds you of the fruity juice of apricots. You should inspect it closer if you have time. By the way, the raw materials were most likely exported from Seaguy, the apricot suzerainty. and processed in sur-le-clay into the apricot-flavored chewing gum loved by kids of today and yesterday. Something about it is familiar, and not only to your finger.
Okay, warte mal. Gucken wir uns mal das Kaugummipapier an. Interaktiv. Hier.
A crinkled chewing gum wrapper. The worn label reads, Tutti Frutti. It smells faintly of apricots with a barely noticeable twinge of cinnamon. You feel compelled to point out that there's nothing fruity about cinnamon. It's a spice derived from tree bark.
Okay. Keine Ahnung, juckt mich nicht.
You neatly fold the wrapper into a square before you put it back into your pocket. Carefully, lovingly.
Ich weiß zwar jetzt nicht, was das mir hilft, aber okay. Gehen wir mal raus zur Cindy. Hallo Cindy, du Taubenuss.
Ooh, the piggies have learned how to saunter up staircases. I didn't think you could do that with hooves. But yeah, I can see that. Cool mutations.
Ja, ja.
That smell coming from her paint bucket. It's not paint. It's heavy fuel oil.
Ooh, not only have you found my address, you've discovered my biggest secret. I'm a coal miner.
Cool.
Shoot, piggy. It's what you do, isn't it?
Red dyed heavy fuel oil, intended for exclusive use in government vehicles, to be precise.
What did you think I was using? Aquarels? Sucked it out of a cop's fuel tank myself. Back in Jamrock. You ain't seen nothing yet, piggy boo.
Okay, ciao, ciao. Voll anstrengend, die Frau. Aber Kuno ist viel schlimmer. Und das blöde Rotzgehör da am Zaun. So, jetzt checken wir mal Wohnung 10 ab hier. Wer ist denn da drin?
You hear someone walking around inside, rearranging.
Excuse me? Of course not.
You have plenty of reason to enter.
Wir kommen jetzt rein. Bitte Hände hinter den Rücken.
Oh, come on.
Machen Sie auf jetzt. Herrgotts,
That
nein.
was smart.
Dankeschön, Dankeschön. Elle, nein. Also erstmal Tür auf und dann nein. So. Yay, bin drin. Ja, so muss das sein. Erstmal ins Zimmer rein, Schuh klauen, Tablette schnappen. So ist das richtig.
The luxury of fine things. Just look at those black monk straps. Beautiful things give you a rush. It's power. Crafting your style, draping your flesh in silk and leather. Decide, remember, when they come to take it away from you, you worked for those shoes. Whether you like it or not, wearing these shoes has made you more liberal.
Ach, da war ja noch eine Frau.
Satisfied? My name is Marielle Charpentier, and I'm an agent with Martinez Realty Associates. I am not breaking in, as I have every right to be here. The keys, see? Do you want to see my ID as well? You can't legally ask for it, but why not? Want to see my residence permit too?
Ja.
It feels flimsy in hand, with the words Revachol Zone of Control written under a nondescript municipal logo. There's a
Thank you. Do you have any questions? I need to be back in Midtown in an hour. I need to get it ready for the next lease, but as you can see, the previous tenant completely trashed the place. Ha! Sounds like you've spent too much time undercover in some rock band. It was some kind of a moribund old man who used to be a business owner. You'd think they'd make rent. But that was months ago. Anyway, was there anything you wanted, or is that it? I'm in a hurry. Oh, that's another huge mess. The former tenant owes us 3 months of rent. 3. We closed the apartment and planned on auctioning off the valuables, but... And again, I have no idea how stupid mistakes like this can even happen. But Ron, when he came to close the door, didn't close the neighboring door. And there's a hole in the wall. A hole in the wall. Can you believe it? And then the tenant ran off with his stuff. He's gone. The money's gone. Just like that.
The sum must have been puny.
These apartments are perfectly fine. They have gorgeous architecture, a million-real view of the bay, good ventilation, neighbors, life, spark, and they are affordable. I'll tell you, Martinez has a future. In a few years, it's going to blossom with artists and creatives and those radio computer wizards.
Ja, bestimmt. Sieht gut aus.
Don't ask me what happened with the wall. I have no idea how we're going to find the time or resources to fix it. Both apartments are now unrentable. Both.
Jetzt kommen sie noch ganz mal zu ihrem Termin.
Of course.
Sag mir mal der netten Dame noch Bescheid.
Give me a moment. I see. I hope some good people are finally going to move in. This place needs them.
Nein, das kann man nicht sagen.
Yes. Well, I hope they're good people.
Your statements are too vague to comment on. That isn't just a 5-pointed star. It's an inverted white pentagram cradled in a wreath of antlers, the iconography of communism, in other words. The star and antlers was developed in the 6th decade of the last century and quickly adopted by Mazov and the communards during the revolution. Even today, half a century after, the star and antlers retains the ability to evoke hope, disappointment, and fear in equal measure, to symbolize the toppling of the old order. Also, some social democrats were already using it. The wreath of antlers represents a natural crown. It was about building a society that could exist in accord with the natural world, and at the same time above it, because white is the color of peace. Nothing at all yet. Right now, it's just meaningless shapes on a wall.
Okay. Die gehen wir mal hoch. Hä? Verteilerkasten. Ein Eimer? Ah, mit Kohle. Da muss doch jetzt irgendwer Typ wohnen mit der Zigarette, oder?
This door is made of metal and appears to be reinforced. Someone hit number 28. This is where the cleaning lady said the smoker on the balcony lives.
Let's see if anyone's home. Knock on the door.
No one answers.
Looks like the young man we are looking for isn't home. I think our best chance to catch him is in the evening. We should return tomorrow after we have finished with our day's work. How about 9 p.m.? Sound good?
Okay.
Tomorrow, 9 p.m., right here. Apartment number 28. Good, let's go.
Damn. Turns out it's quite tricky finding someone in a big apartment building. Don't worry. You'll get. Remember, tomorrow. He's probably gone for today.
Da komme ich nicht hin, da liegen noch Flaschen. Okay, gehen wir zurück. Was machen wir denn jetzt? Okay, ich würde sagen, da gehen wir noch mal in diese Cafeteria, beziehungsweise dieses Hostel da. Küche ist offen. Guten Tag, Gesundheitsamt! Und auch hier wieder ein Kühlschrank, aber diesmal können wir nicht reingucken.
A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood. Occasionally, as you step in, he nods toward the table and says something in a completely foreign language. The only words you can make out are Garanzi and Kubek. Okay, it's definitely not his name. Whatever you do, please don't call him Garanzi Kubek. Please. It's not funny.
So, gerade mache. Hallo.
The man puts his cup down and replies something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air. He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his pots in turn. It's almost like music, especially with the sounds of assorted dishes boiling and simmering on the stove.
Blaue Tür.
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent. The cobalt blue surface feels rough to touch. The stainless steel door is flush with its frame on every side. The door does not budge.
You do?
Ja.
It's a door in the back of the kitchen. Why do you care where it leads?
Ha, vielleicht sind da Droge, Prostitution, keine Ahnung.
Yes. I suppose it's worth seeing if we can get in. Just to be thorough. As a side investigation.
Okay, guter Mann.
Hardly. Anyway, Gart is the person to ask about this. The cafeteria manager.
Okay, da kommen wir so ohne Schlüssel nicht rein. Moment. Was haben wir hier noch? Mal gucken, was unser Barkeeper hat für uns.
Real mature, man. What exactly were you trying to accomplish?
Damn, your feet thought we got away.
Ach so, stimmt ja. Ich bin ja vorher weggerannt.
You know what? The stupid drinks you've had are on the house.
Juhu.
You know why? Because I know you can't pay for them. Not because you ran away. Now, I still have to charge you for 3 nights and the broken window. That's 100 square. Not entirely cool. You still owe me 100 real. If you don't have it by tonight, I can't let you back up there.
Kannst du mal probieren.
Now, what the hell did you want? I assume you wanted something to come back here. Mine? No, it belongs to the Whirling in Rags.
Thank you for clearing that up. Why do you keep the container locked?
Why? To keep the hobos and drunks out. That's why. And the neighbors too. They put their trash there and they don't pay for the garbage company.
I thought as much. And are you the only party with access to the
Well, yes. Us and the garbage disposal company.
It seems a little callous, doesn't it? Something stirs in you. Prod at him and find out.
What do you need them for?
It concerns the case. Please cooperate.
Just bring them back once you're done, please.
Vielleicht auch nicht. Wohl eher nicht. Karaoke.
Absolutely out of the question.
Absolutely in the question. First we find a sad banger. Then we sing this place to shit.
What thing? Yes, not the whole damn union, thank God. Just the nastiest and loudest faction. They come here in the evenings. Dumb, unruly types. Think they're big shit. But they're good customers. They place big orders and always pay on time.
We should find out who this Lord faction is, occupying the booth. Loudness means talkative, and we need info. We don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later. Men get hungry, even striking men. If not today, then they'll be here tomorrow.
There are these things called days. You sleep between them. He's saying they'll come after you've slept. Just making clear you got that.
Ja, genau, die blaue
Oh,
Tür.
yes, that door, sure. There's nothing mysterious about it. It's just a door. No, I don't have a key. I don't know how to get there. And I don't care either. It's not like I've been wondering about it for 10 years. It's just a frit warehouse, probably. Or some boring storage space with a bunch of old junk and dust. Junk and dust.
He's attempting to maintain an air of indifference. It's absolutely not convincing.
Fine, okay, a little. But my job doesn't leave me time for wondering about one locked door in one of the cafeterias I manage. So I haven't opened it. I have cleaned the whole place 100 times over, though, after the animals. And I haven't found a key, so good luck with that. What?
By the way, you should come back to this thing-based questionnaire if you see anything interesting in the whirling later.
Yes, have you got it? A lot. For the room and broken window, 100 real.
Themawechsel.
Like what? I was rarely enjoying. Another thing. Great. I love... Yes?
Okay, das hatten wir jetzt schon alles.
By the way, where is home? The address is coming up blank, and this place sure isn't it. Kim also tries not to look at the pile of taped viscera on the carpet, or the weird suitcase on the hat rack, or the potted plant dying in the corner. The man is finding it hard not to trip on the tape, and not to send any of the bottles rolling across the floor, where unidentifiable sludge makes it hard for him to breathe. Smells of vomit in here. He takes a step toward the door, like he'd like to leave. The bed is cold and not particularly inviting. But
the option to go to sleep becomes available every night after 9 p.m.
Okay, schlafen gehen ab 21 Uhr.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression. It belongs in the new, the third decade of the current century. Enough time had passed from the failure of the revolution that, for a fleeting moment, free market economy seemed like the ultimate, uncontested way of life for our species. Things were good. It was smooth sailing. People made gold and champagne-tinted interiors and facades to suit the times, calling this the new style. But more importantly, disco happened. Forget about ostentatious orchestrations. For Revachol, your city, that meant only one thing. Guillaume le Million. Out of the dazzling swirl of disco music, in an open-air boîte de nuit, somewhere in Revachol West, Guillaume's blonde mane appeared on the screen. He sang some bullshit. Then he made the expression.
Ach, das war ein Sänger, okay.
It doesn't have to be. You can swoon over Guillaume and his champagne-corked smile whenever you want to. Maybe some of the stardust will return. The chain cutters slip out of your hands as you attempt to twist the faucet into place. Well, you know one thing for sure. You've probably never been a plumber.
Verinnerlichen. Ah, okay. Der sammelt jetzt Informationen. 0%. Okay. Ich glaube, ich verstehe das Spiel noch nicht so richtig. Schauen wir nochmal zur Chica.
The door is closed. There is no answer. You hear the shower being turned on. Somewhere, a tremendous loneliness comes over you. Everybody in the world is doing something without you. The door does not care.
Da reden wir nochmal mit dem Schätzchen da.
Hello, sweetie.
Wait, who's Sweetie?
You're a handsome man, officer, with your mustache and your chiseled jaw and that silly dimple on your chin.
Siehst Kim, ich hab's ja
But
gesagt.
dear, you're not for me. I'm too old and too married besides.
Oh,
You must forgive me. I'm getting so scatterbrained. I completely forgot to introduce myself.
was
I'm
passiert?
Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but I come here for tea when they're away.
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot.
Sie sitzt in einem Rollstuhl. Jetzt sind wir ein bisschen frech, hä?
Oh, sweetie, I heard your conversation with the manager about your financial troubles. When do you get your next paycheck?
You've got guns of steel and a chiseled jaw somewhere under the bloated alcohol layer.
Okay, dann wünsche ich euch noch einen schönen Tag und bis zum nächsten Mal. Ciao!